Hello everyone, and welcome to the Lost World Week here on Victoria's Cantina. Today we are having a look at the Kenner, the Lost World Jurassic Park Velociraptor. And to help me present this review, we are going to have Cory Baker, who's going to do some comparisons with this raptor, along with some other versions of Kenner's Jurassic Park and the Lost World Velociraptors, a little bit later in the video. So I'm super excited to have this Velociraptor, and I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, I never had the Jurassic Park Velociraptor. I never had the Lost World Velociraptor. Why? Well, the Velociraptors, as you know, are some of the biggest characters in the Jurassic Park franchise. And as a kid, when the first film came out, I had quite a few of the JP toys, as you know, and still do, but I never had the Velociraptor. My brother had the Velociraptor, and he even had the electronic screamer Velociraptor, which I didn't have either. Then when The Lost World came around, I was really excited to see that Kenner had repacked the same Velociraptor figure with a new paint scheme and extra accessories, but I still never got the Lost World Velociraptor. In fact, I remember one day my mother taking both myself and my brother to Walmart to purchase a JP small toy of our choice, and of course I had in my mind, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart, I'm going to get the Velociraptor, and I'm finally going to have this figure. Well, we get there and they do not have the raptors available. All they had were quite a few Pachycephalosaurs, so it was either buy Pachycephalosaurus or don't buy anything at all. So I was kind of like, okay, I bought the Pachycephalosaurus, so did my brother, and yeah, never got the raptor until now. And I'm super stoked to finally have it, finally be able to show it to you guys. So this version right here, as you can see, has green eyes. And then there's also a version here on the right that has yellow eyes. From what I understand, and I'm not 100% certain on this, but from what I've been told, the green-eyed version is a little bit harder to come by. So for that reason, and because of the fact that the package on the green-eyed version is just immaculate, I'm not going to open that one. Instead, I'm going to open our yellow-eyed friend over there. So the packaging itself, as you can see, is just absolutely gorgeous, really. I don't think it's quite on par with what we got for Jurassic Park. I don't think anything touches that packaging, but this is still very nice. It almost looks like this is kind of in the jungle, and there's like a beam of sunlight radiating down through the tree canopies. Of course, we have the very awesome The Lost World Jurassic Park logo, and then we have the T-Rex, who is overlooking any toy that you buy in this packaging, including the raptor here. You can see the raptor quite prominently, all the accessories that it comes with, and then a little caution bar down at the bottom that says Raptor breaks free of restraint gear. The back of the packaging shows us a little diorama that Kenner did for the Lost World, and you can see the raptor there with all his restraint gear in place. And then it says Lost World Jurassic Park Velociraptor, codename Raptor, Site B, because this is Isla Sorna, of course. And then we get a look at all of the other figures that come in this line. So we have Ian Malcolm, Eddie Carr, Nick Van Owen, and Dieter Stark. And then we have the smaller dinos, Velociraptor and that Pachycephalosaurus. And then a vehicle, Carter with Dino Snare dirt bike, and some more dinosaurs. We have the electronic Chasmosaurus, aka Plateface, electronic Spinosaurus, aka Slice, and the giant Pteranodon, aka Steel Beak. And just FYI, some poses may require hand support. And then there's a UPC right there. It says Velociraptor, Kenner 1996, made in China. Check us out online at Hasbro.com and thelostworld.com. And they had the internet back then, so yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah. And then it says JP, and at the bottom you get some instructions on how to operate the raptor. We'll take a closer look at that in just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do our unboxing. Again, if this makes you queasy in any way, shape, or form, you may want to skip through just a little bit. This package is in pretty beat up shape. I mean, it's not horrendous, but yeah. This is going to be our little sacrificial lamb right here. We're going to go ahead and open this Velociraptor, something I've been wanting to do since 1997, so for 19 years, basically. And that's how long Obi-Wan was in the desert. So here goes. Put my card back. And here's our raptor. Let's go ahead and... looks like everything already came out right there. So let's go ahead and take this out, see what we got. We got the raptor itself right here. Very, very, very cool. And then we also have the capture gear parts right here too. All right, you guys, so here's the Velociraptor, and gotta tell you guys, the feeling that I have right now, it's satisfaction, but it's also definitely, I'm really elated to finally have this and to have it out of the box where I can actually handle it and feel it, and that's just really, really cool. It's been a long time coming. I've been patient, but I got my JP, or Lost World Velociraptor, here. And this looks great, you guys. I really, really like the one that came from the Jurassic Park toy line, but I think that this is a little bit more in line with what we saw in the Lost World in terms of color scheme. Of course, the Lost World Raptors have a curved tail, whereas the JP Raptors had a straight tail. It's just because of the way that it was placed in the packaging. As you can see, it's not balancing on the tail. You can balance it on the tail, but as you can see, I just have it standing upright very normally. The raptor is in a very neutral pose, which I like. It's not in some wild and crazy extreme pose like we saw with the Jurassic World Raptors. No. None of that nonsense here. This is just in a neutral pose, and it looks fantastic. I wish that they would continually stick with neutral poses like this, and if they want to make it in an extreme pose, just give us extra articulation. That way we can pose it ourselves. And from all angles, I really, really like what I'm seeing here. Go ahead and give you a close-up here of the head, and as you can see, this is really, really nice. Kenner knew what they were doing back in the day. I mean, it looks fantastic. The sculpt work on it, the texturing that went into creating the sculpt, it just looks absolutely exquisite. Of course, there's a little bit of an awkward fat head sort of aesthetic because of the action feature, but you only really notice it when you look at it from the front. I mean, if you just look at it from the side, it's not too noticeable here. Or if you look at it from the back, you can kind of see it. But, I mean, it still looks really good. There's no doubting that Kenner did a really nice job with the sculpt and the detail that's in there. It's got kind of like a blue neck, interestingly. And the eyes are, again, very piercing yellow color, and they're painted very nicely from both sides. Really, really like this. The teeth look quite nice. They're a little bit on the blunt side, but it works. You can lift open the jaw, see a little bit of detail in there. That looks, decent enough. Then the hands, just look at those. Look at the sculpted detail on those claws and on those fingers. That's really, really nice. If only Hasbro was still capable, or, I'm sure they're capable, but they're not willing to do this sort of thing these days. But, I mean, that's fantastic. One hand is a little bit different from the other. You can see that they're both just a little bit different. The bodies themselves, you can see the torsos are quite nice. There's an interesting kind of like line right there, and it seems like all of the Lost World and JP Raptors I've seen have that. I guess it's just where they connected the molds or something, connected the parts of the raptor. And but still, I mean, look at that detail on there, the ridge there where the spine is. There's just a lot of really nice detail in here. This extra bone and skin that's back here. The legs, just look at those legs. Look at those sickle claws and those, that detail. That's just really, really nice. It says JP .06 or number 6, and then site B. And that just looks fantastic. The striations, the claws themselves, yeah, they're a little blunt, but it's a toy. Can't really expect perfection with something like this, but I mean, it just looks fantastic. The tail, the way that it tapers toward the end, this is a long tail, not those like blunt tails we get these days from Hasbro. This is fantastic, and I really just like what they did here. You get a couple of screw holes on the bottom, not too big of a deal. If you have the figure sideways, you're not going to see those, so that's okay. And I just really like this. I mean, it looks a lot like the Raptors from the film in terms of aesthetic and physique, and even quite realistic in terms of proportions. So I really like that. I really like what Kenner did here. And the color scheme, again, it really does look like the Tiger Raptors from the Lost World. So I'm really, really good with that. Now, as for the action feature, we'll go ahead and look at the packaging here once again. And it says, squeeze animals' feet past each other as shown to lower head and open mouth. So, okay, let's do that. So we're going to squeeze its legs together. And yeah, it looks down. It doesn't really open the mouth. I mean, it kind of does a little, but not as much as it's showing there. Yeah, it's not opening its mouth that much, but I mean, still, you know, this isn't bad. I like it. I mean, it's fun. As for the capture gear, we get 3 pieces of it, and this is very simplistic looking. It does look like something that comes from a toy, but it ain't too bad. It's basically cast in this silvery sort of color. And if we return to the instructions here, place restraint gear on as shown, then repeatedly squeeze feet past each other until animal breaks free. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on, just as it shows it. Oh, it's backwards. Like this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And like that. I think, yeah, like that, right? Yeah, that looks good. There we go. Go ahead and stick that back over his mouth and place that inside. So I think this is what the idea is here, is that he's restrained, so or he or she cannot cause any harm to humans, although that's not really true because it still has its claws and its hind legs exposed, so it could still do something. It is a little bit top heavy now from the front, so it kind of wants to slide forward, but you can still balance it on its tail, or maybe we can move the legs back just a little bit. Yeah, it's still bouncing on the tail though. Anyway, so it says now to press on the back legs and then it's going to break free. So let's see, break free. It totally does, that's cool. All right, so now we're going to do some comparisons of the Kenner the Lost World Velociraptor with other versions of this toy, both from Jurassic Park and the Lost World. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and bring in Cory Baker. So let me go ahead and throw it over to Cory. Hey Cory, how's the weather down under?
How you going, Victoria? Cory Baker here. The weather is absolutely beautiful in Western Australia today. So nice that I've come outside for the first time to do my review, and I'll tell you what, it's really nice, so I might have to do it in the future even more. What I'm going to look at today is the difference between the Lost World version of the Raptor you've been looking today with his first counterpart, the one from Jurassic Park toy line from 1993. Basically both of them are the same with a few differences, so let's get into it. So this is the 1993 Jurassic Park Series 1 toy line equivalent to the Lost World one, and he basically has darker colours. They're more subtle, and I really like the grey, the kind of the brownish greyish kind of colour he has in his underbelly, where the the Lost World one has a kind of really white colour. This one has a really nice, I like how the colours blend on this 1993 version. He also has a green eye, where the Lost World one has a yellow eye. The colours that they gave him in 1993 are pretty good all round. What differences this one has though, you can't actually see on the outside, but they actually made improvements to his action feature, which is the head strike. This one doesn't work that bad, but you actually get the full effect by crossing his legs over like that to get the full effect of the Raptor strike. I actually have a mint in box version right here of the first one. Here he is, locked in his 1993 prison. If you turn it over and read the back side here, actually tells you to position the legs with one in front of the other and squeeze them past each other. So that's basically that's the action feature, how the action feature worked on the first toy line. But the one that you've been looking at today, which is the one from the Lost World with the brighter colours, he has had improvements on his striking feature, Look how responsive that is. That's way more responsive than the first one they released. And you don't have to put much effort into making his head strike forward like a killing raptor. Goes much easier than this one. You have to put the legs in front of the other, and this one's much more faster and responsive than the first version they ever brought out, which is good because they made improvements. Although I do like the colour of the old one better. Also, good thing to note is I actually have two here. This one is the one I originally got. This one here is the one I got when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I've kept it in such a good. I always used to take really good care of my toys as a child. So this one is in great condition still, with great working action feature and all. This one I got through the years of collecting. And this one's a bit different because this one doesn't have the blue underneath his throat like my original one did. This one just has white underneath. So I kept this one just to show, like, it's just so it's like a variant. These raptors are really good. I always thought these raptors were just such a good toy because they're just standing in such a neutral pose, and you can just do so much well with them. You can just walk around with them like that, and you can make them pounce on the other one like that and stuff. I've always thought they were really great toys. I've always loved the action feature with their head strike. So there you have it. That's what I think of the Lost World Raptor from Kenner, and what differences he has with his Jurassic Park Series 1 counterpart. Back to you, Victoria.
Alright, thank you, Cory, for that awesome comparison with those other Velociraptors. So Cory runs his own YouTube channel. He does a lot of great reviews on dinosaurs, from Jurassic Park to Rebor to Papo, all kinds of dinosaurs from all different lines. And it's just all really great stuff. I highly encourage you to go and check out Cory's channel. I will throw a link down in the description. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Kenner, the Lost World Jurassic Park Velociraptor from 1997. So as you now know, there are a few different variants of this Velociraptor, but I don't think it really matters which version you get. I think they all look fantastic. Each one is a little bit unique, but they're all awesome. Kenner really knew what they were doing. They did a fantastic job with the sculpt on this raptor. I think that the detail and the texturing that went into the sculpt is just magnificent. The paint scheme looks incredible. The capture gear is quite cool, even though it may not be very realistic at all. It does add quite a bit of playability to this toy, and I just really like how it really breaks free from it, literally. Just shoots off like a missile. That's freaking awesome. So yeah, I really do like this toy. And I think that, again, Kenner did a great job. If you're a fan of Jurassic Park and you like the Velociraptors or really any aspect of the franchise, and you like collecting Jurassic Park dinosaur toys, this is a must-have. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Be sure to check out Cory Baker on YouTube and Twitter. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time, my friends. Bye-bye.